What is this? Number 17. Number 17 of the Jules and Coffee Hour. It begins in 3, 2, 1. You're listening to the Jules and Coffee Hour, sharing the stories of Blizzard gamers around the world. Pull up a chair. We're glad you're here. Welcome to episode 17 of the Jules and Coffee Hour. I'm Jules.
And I'm Coffee, and I've got a few questions for Jules RPG.
And I have many questions for Coffee Club _TV. Woo! That's right, my friends. We are coming back again with something a little different from you, for you, with you. And that is a format trial, I guess is what we're doing here. I've done this before on other podcasts, and I think it would be a lot of fun to try here. And it's called Ask Jules and Coffee in this basically format of saying, hey, let's have some fun. Let's get some stuff from each other and the chat and like get to know each other a little bit better together. And it's always a lot of fun when I do this, so I'm super, super excited. But first, Coffee, how the hell are you? Like, we're recording on a Friday because it's been like...
Wait, whoa. Does this count as your first question, or no? Does this count?
No.
This doesn't count?
I mean, it could count. I mean, because I'm probably going to answer the same question. So, yes, it does count. Okay, there you go.
All right, well, you only get 5 questions. So you're...
Wait, no. This is not a genie.
I'm like a genie in a lamp, and this is one. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm doing great. I'm doing good. I feel like I've been super busy lately. Thank you for adjusting the time that we record this to Friday for me this week, because I was out of town. I was in San Diego doing work stuff, doing not fun stuff, trying to make it fun, right?
Really?
Super crazy week. Here's the wildest thing that happened to me this week. So Tuesday, I'm out at a solar job site. There's like bulldozers and like they're digging this massive trench for like an AC wire cable to go like up the center of the site. And all of a sudden, like I felt something fly into my eye.
Oh no.
And I still have no idea what it was. I'm not sure if it was just dirt or what, but something flew in my eye. And from Tuesday until pretty much just last night, my eye has been swollen and red and inflamed. It's this eye. You can still see it's like squinting a little bit.
Oh no.
But I don't know what it was. So as soon as I got home, my wife took me out to get some things to put in it, and that's been really helping. Like a watery like sterile solution, and then these like eye drops that reduce like inflammation and stuff. And it's been slowly getting better, but it was pretty freaking scary on Tuesday. I didn't know if I was gonna, because I couldn't see out of it. It was pretty bad, and it hurt like hell. It hurt like hell.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be like a pirate and have to have an eye patch or something. It was rough times.
I know. I mean, I think about that all the time, especially like even just getting an eyelash in your eye, and you're just like, oh my god,
I can't do it. I can't go on. Somebody help me. Yeah,
but that's like happened to me when I've been driving, and it's freaking scary. Like your eye gets completely incapacitated, and then it's like, I'm only seeing out of one. This is not a good thing.
Well, yeah. How do you drive with one eye? How do you do it?
Right.
I mean, you can, I think, but
are you feeling better though? Like it's
so
a little bit better?
So since last night, my eye hasn't been hurt. I've had a headache, but my eye hasn't been hurting. My head's been hurting. I don't think it's related. I think it's just due to lack of sleep. But I'm feeling pretty good today. Feeling a lot better today. So
good.
I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited too. You've been on a marathon today. You've been streaming since like 11 a.m. Pacific.
Rank win EU, baby. It was fun.
Yeah, rank win EU to your own stream, to this stream. It's currently about, it's nearing 5 p.m. Pacific for you.
What am I going on 7 hours right now? No, wait.
Dang, dude.
6 hours.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I went to work all day, and then I came home and I, ate a little snack, and then, but it was like, you just don't think about all the time that it's like, Oh man, I'm just looking forward to like not having to get up an alarm tomorrow. That would be the best thing ever.
I would normally say the same exact thing, but tomorrow I have even more plans just to keep the busyness going. We're getting up early at the crack of dawn, and we're going to this park, and we're gonna do yoga and Pilates with puppies.
What?
With puppies, yeah. It's
What?
gonna be a pupperthon.
Okay, my jealousy
Puptastic.
factor just hit like 90 billion.
Oh, it's
It's
gonna
over
be good.
9,000.
I'll take pictures. I'll text you. I'll send some pics your way.
Puppies.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about it's hard to get me out of the house, to be honest, especially when it involves some form of athleticism or exercise. If I'm being honest, right? But if we're going to the park to hang out with puppies while we do it, yeah, my wife got me on this one. I couldn't say no to that. She got me. She pulled me in.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, how can you say no to puppies? Like, seriously.
You just can't. I mean, you just can't. Yeah. It's actually against the law, I think. You'd be under arrest if you did.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I think that's a worthy cause to get up early for. I hope that you get the relaxation and kind of like stress relief.
I'll report in
yoga
next
and
week
Pilates, though.
on next Jules and Coffee Hour. I'll let you know how it went.
Yeah, we don't even know when that's going to be yet because we haven't even talked about it. So
I mean, I'm good for Monday. I don't know. You're good to go back to our
we just
Monday.
have to come up with a topic. So chat room, if you guys have a
Yeah, we'll
topic,
figure it out.
I mean, you know, we can sit down and record a show, but we don't know what we're talking about yet. So
True.
That
maybe that'll be a question later. What is the next Jules and Coffee Hour topic?
Yes. Exactly.
What about
you?
You
may come across something really cool.
What about you? Like, what about do you have anything going on this weekend? And how was your week? I haven't talked. It's been what, almost 2 weeks. Jeez Louise, way too long.
It's been too long. So, it's been super busy for me. I am working, you know, obviously I work 8 hours plus a day for my day job. And then things have gotten really busy for me because, as I talked about on the last show, I have started to do a new role at HeroesHearth, which is the production director of the shows like things like Fight Night. And so I did my first Heroes Fight Night last Friday. And boy, that was intense.
Everything looked beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I was so nervous, dude. Like I was freaking nervous about because there's just so many moving parts. But it got to the point where I got comfortable enough with things like how all the tech was working that we were able to have some fun with Haloran and Jayhow. And at the end of the broadcast, you'll see some funny little memes that popped up that we were just like adding, and they were asking me to put things into the overlays, and you know, so it was a ton of fun, which of course spawned a lot of ideas of things that we're working on now for additional shows that are coming up. And so Workhorse and Brasky and I have been spending a lot of late nights after work trying to figure out the tech that we want to do for the things we want to accomplish, which really hasn't been invented yet. And so we're kind of gaming the systems a bit, trying to see what we can do. And so needless to say, I've been burning the candle at both ends. I'm tired. I am like, I like I said, I can't wait to sleep in tomorrow morning, which of course I probably won't. But
you deserve it.
The spring thaw is coming here to Minnesota. And tomorrow it's supposed to be 52, which is, to you, you're like, burr. To me, I'm like, let's take off all the clothes and go outside, damn it.
Well, first of all, good on you for going outside naked. Right. I've been trying to do that for a while.
I'm never doing that.
They never let me do it. They say, Coffee, get back inside and put some damn pants on. But,
get inside.
Yeah. But I've been trying to do that for a while.
You live in Southern California, they accept that a little bit more. Here in Minnesota, as soon as the temperature goes above freezing, they're pretty much, people are like, let's put on shorts, god damn it, because we've been inside forever. So I'm expecting tomorrow's community day for Pokemon Go, and I'm going to go to a park, and I'm going to do stuff. Yeah,
maybe I can do this while I'm doing Pilates with puppies.
It's too early, though. It starts at like 4 local time. 4 p.m.
Afternoon?
Yeah, it's an afternoon one.
Yeah. I'll probably be pooped by then.
I know. You'll be like napping for hours, which I actually love to do on the weekends.
There's actually a brewery across from the park that I think I might have to hit up, like just to celebrate, you know, the puppy-thon. Yeah.
And then share all your pictures on social media, of course.
Yeah. That sounds good. I like where this is going.
Yes. So it's been a busy week. I also had to, so here's a fun little story for you. And I hate this every single time I have to do it. So it's not serious. I have a minor heart condition where my heartbeat is a little irregular. It's nothing terrible. It's treated by medication. No big deal. But every 2 years, I have to go back to the doctor and I have to go through an echocardiogram, and I have to wear a monitor for 24 hours so that they check out my heartbeat, make sure the medication's working properly, blah, 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 blah. So yesterday I had the appointments and I had to wear the monitor yesterday it ended this morning. And I don't know if you've ever had to do this or if anybody out there has ever had to do this, but the stupid sticky pads that they put on your body to keep the leads on you are the worst things in the frickin' world, and they leave this residue on your skin that you just can't get off. And so right now, so I had to take them off while I was at work, and then I had to take the thing back to the hospital, in my break and come back, and I can't get this stupid adhesive off.
Is this still sticky there or something?
Well, there's one that is between my boobs, and if I lean forward, my boobs stick together because there's so much sticky stuff, and I'm like, this is not comfortable. This is not comfortable, and I can't get this stuff off. I'm like Googling on the internet to see if there's any way I can get this stuff off, and I don't know how. So if anybody has some tips on how to get rid of this.
So you're saying sticky boobs are a bad thing?
Are they ever a good thing? Ever?
I could think of a few circumstances, but moving on.
I'm moving on. You guys can ask us those questions later. Bathing Fluffy says, try taking those off when you have chest hair. Not fun. I just internally gasped. I did. Yeah. It's just, yes. I've heard, and Amorin said if you have any oils, like oils break up adhesives. I need baby oil. That's what I do. I need baby oil or something, which is a whole other story for another show.
We're going down a path right now.
A path
of no return.
This is the new format trial. There you go. Speaking of which, this is an Ask Jules and Coffee episode, and what that means is that you guys are welcomed to ask us pretty much anything, and we may answer it in the chat room. I can't promise you that we will, but we've also prepared some questions for ourselves too. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit better, have some fun on a Friday, and if you guys like this, we'll do it more. Yeah, and mix it into the format. So yeah.
The questions don't have to be anything in particular, anything specific. They could be about games. They could be general questions about life, about our personal experience, or just something super silly and dumb too. Do you want to give them an example, Jules? You want to ask me a question?
Yeah. So let me do my first one. I have to just think. Okay. Right. So my first question for you, Coffee, is what old person thing do you do?
I mean, I'm in bed by like 8:30, right? I mean,
which to me is like 10:30, and that I'm totally in bed by 10:30 my time.
Your time.
Sometimes I go to, but I go to bed sometimes at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, and everybody in the West Coast is like, I just finished dinner, and I'm like, F you, I'm going to bed. So that is, it does feel weird. It does feel weird.
Yeah.
But what time I mean, you're usually, like, if I message you in the morning to ask you something, you're usually responding to me pretty early. So you're up early.
Yeah, I'm usually up by 7:30-ish, like out of bed by 7:30. So I feel like that's kind of how I've become, because my wife is a morning person. I'm not a morning person, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But when my wife goes to bed, it's like, I guess I'll go to bed too. And I've sort of trained myself to go to bed at the same time, because otherwise we're like on totally different sleep schedules and it's no fun for anybody. So, but yeah, I mean, I used to be a late night duder. Like, my goodness. I can remember several times where I was just like cruising through the night playing games or working on something, and just 4 a.m. comes around, and that has not happened for a long time. does not happen for a long, long time.
I think that's an old person thing. I think you're spot on with it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I get made fun of for my old person thing. And that is that I love, if I have the opportunity, I love to eat dinner at like 4:30.
Okay.
and and my parents have always been like this too, because like when I go visit them, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna go out to dinner. We'll go somewhere around 5:30. And like, most people don't think about going out to dinner at least until 6 o'clock.
Right.
Um, but I just like to eat earlier. It's always been the thing. And I remember when I was really little, my great grandparents had this weird schedule where they would eat dinner at their lunch hour and then have a small meal at the, later part of the day. But their big meal was always around the lunch hour. And I thought that was the weirdest thing in the world. Like, what? And then my girlfriends have made fun of me forever. Like, oh, Jules, you eat dinner at 4:30. You're so freaking old. And I'm like, no, I'm hungry.
I was just gonna say,
and then
like,
you don't have to worry about the crowds.
Dinner, you don't have to worry about the crowds. And the thing is, like, if someone asks me if I want to eat, I say yes. Right? So, like,
yes.
What's the problem with eating a little earlier? I mean, yeah, I'll eat at 4:30, and then sure, I might come back and I might eat again at 6. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and I think people have called it old person because like you eat dinner at like 4 and then you're in bed by 7. And I don't understand, like, especially because we're so able to sleep deprive ourselves. Like, I love getting 8 hours of sleep. Like, that
good.
is amazing.
God,
oh my God. And
you're actually talking dirty to me right now. It sounds so
hi,
good.
baby. How's it going with that 8 hours of sleep? But like, I wake up in the morning, I feel good, and I don't feel like my ass is dragging. Like this morning, I could not get my ass moving, and I had slept. It was the stupid monitor that was a problem, because I had to sleep with the thing on, and I had this little pack of like battery and all the wires on me, so I didn't sleep well, and I was just like, I didn't know what I was trying to answer the phone at work, and I couldn't like say things properly. It was just like,
Yikes.
This is not good.
Oh, that's not good. That ruins everything. It ruins your whole day. It really
does. And I
am I old for saying that? I think that's an old person thing to say. I don't know.
It may be, but I don't freaking care, because I love my sleep, and that's that. And I didn't get a lot of it this week, so I'm like, I'm like, after we get done with this, I'm going to have some dinner, and then I'm going to be like, I'm in bed by 9, baby.
And that's the way it goes.
And that's the way it goes. So that's an example of the questions that we have prepared, or at least I have prepared. What do you have for me? What do you want to ask me for your first?
Do you want me to pull one out here?
Yeah. Yes.
or should we or do we want to open it up to the chat now after we have a actually, okay, you know what,
you want me to ask another one?
No, I've got one
Okay.
now. Simply because
I love you so much.
This is my train of thought is moving in this direction now. What is your guilty pleasure?
That's a good one. Why is my face suddenly so bright? Holy crap. Let me turn my lights down a little bit here.
What is your guilty pleasure? And it can't be getting 8 hours of sleep. It's not allowed.
Okay. All right. My guilty pleasure is marathoning the Twilight movies.
Oh, God. Jesus. Oh.
I know, and they are so bad. I know they're so bad, but I love them, and I love to hate. It's not like I hate watch them. I don't know how to say this, but like, it brings me to a place in my. I mean, I was an adult when they came out, right? But it bring me to a place where I remember reading books like that when I was a child and when a teenager, and it's like this like love scene or love stories that are so contrived, and the
You said
girl is
love
like
scene.
a damsel. A lot of love scenes, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm single. I don't get any, so I can
And that's
like,
your...
watch hot vampires get them.
Oh my god.
There is no shaming in this chat.
No, there's no shaming. No shaming.
except for my host.
Okay, so specifically, what is your favorite part about marathoning those movies?
Sometimes it's just making fun of the fact that they named their child that horrible name. What is her name? Renesmee. Her name is Renesmee, and I laugh every.
It's a beautiful name.
It's terrible. It's so terrible. And then the part where Bella says,
I don't even know that because I haven't watched that far. I think I only watched 2 of them, and then I was like, I don't need to put myself through this anymore. So I didn't even get that
has
far.
my back, and I love her for it. Lauren, we're gonna have a girl night to watch it like over the miles. It's gonna be amazing. No, it's like when she yells, "You've nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness monster," because Jacob calls her Nessie. I don't know.
Oh man,
it's so emo, and it's so, I don't know what it is about it.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I know, but I do it anyway. So there
honestly,
you have Jules' guilty pleasure.
Okay, and I'm not judging here, but I think
yes, you are, but that's okay.
Was it the second movie that Jacob came into play?
Yes. Well, no, he was in the first one, but he was like
yeah. Kid. But in the second one, he becomes like a werewolf or something.
He becomes a hot werewolf.
He's a werewolf.
He's a hot werewolf.
There's a lot
of shirtless werewolf.
Yeah, and I remember the shot of him just like glistening shirtless, just looking so damn good, and then he opened his mouth and said, "Bella!" And I was just like, well, turned me right off there. I was almost there, Jacob. I was almost there. And then you opened your big fat mouth and turned me right off. Jesus.
See, and honestly, like in the first one, he's younger, but he has long hair, and that is another guilty pleasure of mine.
Okay. Yeah, the long hair was good.
I have a thing for guys with long hair.
All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. So
how guilty are we
not
talking?
Many, I mean, I don't like the crazy unkempt hair for men. Like, you haven't taken care of it at all, and it's just a big mess. No, sure. But like this is gonna sound so bad because I'm not lusting after him, but Tim from Heroes of Fitness has the best hair.
He does.
See, beautiful. Like, it's beautiful hair. And if you don't know Tim from Heroes, it's Fabio hair, and I love Fabio hair. Like, and Jacob has that hair in the first one, and I loved it.
Is it real though? It's not even real. It's a wig.
Jacob's hair?
I'm pretty sure it's a wig.
I don't care though, dude. Don't shatter my fantasy.
All right, you're fine. Yeah, my bad. My bad. So
there's my guilty pleasures. You got 2 of them out of me.
Good. That's a value question
so
right
I can
there.
make fun of you. Yes.
It's a value question.
So I can make fun of you.
You want me to? No,
You have to answer them too.
No, I don't. What?
Yes. No, I told you the rule
we
is that
lay
we
down
ask you
these
questions.
rules.
We have to. Go back in Discord and look.
I can't.
Said you will answer them.
I just tried to open Discord. It crashed. I can't look at the rules.
It didn't crash because we're talking. Chat room, ask him his guilty pleasure so he has to answer it.
Oh man. All right.
No, the rule is you have to answer your own question. I did mine. I said my own.
Well, I didn't choose these questions anticipating I would have to answer them myself. This is.
Well, then you're gonna have to go and while I'm talking, pick out new ones. Okay, Synchrony UH says coffee, guilty food pleasure.
Ah, okay.
He's narrowed it for you so you can be a little less.
That's easy. It's actually not easy at all. But let's see.
And don't say Chipotle.
It's not. It's Martin.
Gosh
darn it. Dunkin' Donuts is definitely one of them, but it's not even donuts. It's like a Dunkin' Donuts caramel latte, large, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be like 1,000 calories or something. It's just straight up 1,000 calories in a drink, like just
Yep.
boom down the hatch. I don't know, but yeah, it's like and to piggyback off that, just like cold or like frozen drinks in general, like a milkshake or something. Like milkshakes are so good. Oh my
They
god,
are. They're insane, and
they're
they're
so good.
so bad for you, and they're so
So
good.
bad for you. But I don't know. I love milkshakes. So good. Things I'm not gonna have for a while because I'm turning over a new leaf right now. I'm planning on becoming a much healthier version of myself.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
baby.
That's the plan.
I'm on that path too, and I can muscle you along because
Mm,
it's not the easiest path. Faux show.
yeah.
It is not.
Starting
It is
with
not.
puppies and Pilates and beer. Yeah.
And
So
beer.
I actually haven't had a beer um in over a week, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I've been trying to not drink as much beer either. Um, I'm drinking. I am having wine. I've started drinking like a glass of wine every now and then, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had a beer in probably since we last talked. I would say. I think I had a beer that
Really?
stream. Yeah. So
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having them, and there's not anything wrong with not having them. It's just, I love beer. I haven't had one in ages,
mm.
but
So good.
yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing is
Mm-hmm.
like I was my diet was like beer and Dunkin' Donuts, right? And I was just kind of living like that. So and Chipotle, don't forget Chipotle.
Chipotle. Yes, at least there's some nutritional value in Chipotle
Yeah.
in there too. You got
So
some meat
I'm
and
trying
veggies and
not to
stuff and
have
carbs.
those large caramel lattes much from Dunkin' Donuts. I haven't had one of those in a long ass time as well, but we'll see
Good
how
for
it
you.
goes. We'll see how it goes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's my next question for you.
Okay.
What is the strangest coincidence that you've ever experienced, either for yourself or with somebody else that you've seen?
Um I mean, that's a really good question. God, did you spend a lot of time on these?
No, I didn't. I mean, I went through the thing that I gave you, and then that one
Okay.
I actually made up because I have an answer for it
That's
that
a good one.
blows people's
I
minds.
should
So
have
I go
picked
a little
questions
bigger.
based on my answers for them. I'll do better next time.
That's okay. You have to
Um,
think about. I always pick questions based on can I answer this question or not.
I pick questions that I think, oh, this is a hard one for me to answer. I don't want to answer that. Like,
Jerk. Damn it.
I mean, what do you want? Um,
Friendship.
friendship. So I think probably the biggest coincidence that's ever happened in my entire life was seeing Emma in college, to be honest with you, because
Okay.
she went away to college and I knew she went away to college. I went to an in-state college. She went to an out-of-state college and then just randomly like transferred back to my college my junior year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, and like if she had never done that, we would definitely not be married if she didn't transfer back to the school I was going to. Because
Well, wait. Did you guys know each other before you went off to
yeah,
college?
so
You did. Okay.
that's why it's such a big coincidence, I think, is that we knew each other in high school. Like we were just sort of friends in high school. She was older than me. She graduated before me and then went off to college and
Hmm.
never heard from her again until she transfers back to my college in my junior year. So
So how did you meet up again? Was it random? Did you
she
like
like I was going to college for I was getting my BFA in acting and
Mhm.
she I guess she was taking an art elective. So I'm
Okay.
coming out of the art building, the arts building, and she's just walking up the steps like in to go to her class and we just like stop and we're like, "What? What are you doing?
Oh
What are you
man.
doing here? What is this?" And it was like
Did
this
she know
wild.
you were going to the school?
I don't
Did
think
she
so.
know it?
I don't think
She
so.
had no idea. Oh
No.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I love that. And there's a thing that I believe, and I believe that there's destiny kind of things. Like that meeting, I believe, was destined for your path.
Yeah, I
And
feel that way.
yeah, and I just love that because I mean, you think about all of the butterfly effect things that could have happened had you guys not run into each other at that exact moment, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's so amazing. Oh, I
for
love that
sure.
story. That's amazing. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing it.
Well, there you go. And you,
Okay.
my lady?
This is going to blow your mind. So, I was living in Madison, Wisconsin at the time. I had rented an apartment and was going to purchase a condo. And I did. So I lived in this apartment for like a year, and I was kind of paying like every 3 months. I was doing like a 3-month lease every time. Year and 2 months. Then I went and bought a condo, and as circumstances came around, I needed to sell the condo. So I sell the condo. I go to the closing, and I meet the buyer of my condo for the first time. And at that time, that they exchange driver's licenses. Like you have driver's licenses that they have to use to write down whatever. And the buyer, her address was the exact apartment that I was living in prior to buying my condo, and now she was buying my freaking condo.
What?
And I looked at her and I said, "You're in this apartment B, in this address?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I lived in that apartment before I bought this place." And she goes, "No." And it was like, we all just sat there and we were like, holy shit.
Just tried to wrap your mind around what was going on.
Madison, Wisconsin is like 100,000 people.
Right. It's not.
It's not a small city.
Yeah, it's not small
And
for sure.
the chances of that happening are so huge. And to this day, I still sit here and go, how in the world could that have happened? Like, what are the chances of someone following like the exact same living situation that I had previously? So that was probably the biggest coincidence I'd ever seen. It was bonkers.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It was bonkers.
That's definitely a good one.
Good. All right.
100,000 people, says STFN. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small city, but in city standards, but it's 100,000 people, and so it was like, and it's probably bigger now. I think it was like 200,000 now, but
I like this one a lot.
Okay,
This is good.
bring it.
Where and when was the most amazing sunset you've ever witnessed?
Hawaii.
Okay.
No question. I can't remember what island I was on, but I remember it. If anyone's been there, they would know. There was a Polynesian history center on one of the islands that I'd gone to, and it was right on the water. And beautiful area of history, and like all this stuff. And then we happened to be there as the sun was setting, and it was setting over the water, and we just sat on the beach and we watched the sun go down. And I had seen colors in the sky that I had never really seen before in a sunset.
Yeah.
And it would like change every couple of minutes. It was just intense, and like you couldn't capture it in a photograph. And at that time when I went, we didn't have cell phones with us to like take the photos and stuff. I mean, I think that trip was like 1996, something like that. So yeah, it was quite a while ago. But amazing. And like you said earlier, I'm not a morning person, and I'm not either. And people were like, "Oh, you should get up for those amazing sunrises." And I was like, "No, the sunsets are better anyway, because I can watch this."
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, no. So that by far, Hawaii it really is one of the most beautiful places on the planet, in my opinion.
All right, that's good. It's a good one.
How about you?
For
what was
me,
yours?
It was actually in Venice Beach. It was right after I had moved here to LA, and we were in a weird transitional period because we had flown out here, and I was staying with my cousin in Koreatown, and Emma was helping me look for a place, like a place for us to live, like an apartment. But she had to fly back home and, like, wrangle up some additional, loose ends
Mm-hmm.
back on the East Coast. So I was in LA in, like, a strange place, and I was kind of by myself. I was alone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was figuring out how things worked here, and just kind of struggling to find a place to live as well, and
Yeah.
wasn't making much money, and just it was tough. It was a hard time, and I had to stay in Venice Beach, where
Mm-hmm.
met up with some people, met some new people I'd never met before, had kind of a cool time. We ended up going into a bar and hanging out, and then there was like a secret speakeasy underneath the bar. And it
Hmm.
was like secret, and we went down there and listened to jazz music, and we danced, and then we came out right at sunset, and we just like went and like dipped our toes in the water, like as the sun was setting, and it was beautiful. Like undescribable colors, and like no sunset I'd ever seen. And it was kind of this moment where I was like, it's all going to be okay. We're going to
Yeah.
figure this out here on the West Coast. This was supposed to happen. We're going to get through this, and it's all going to be okay. And somehow that sunset let me know that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure how, but he let me know. Beautiful sunset.
It's about the energy, I think, and we live in these lives where we get so taken taken away by the things that are, that we deem as important, our jobs, our lives, the things we're doing, like I I'm so happy tomorrow that I could actually probably go outside because it's going to be warm, and I don't think about, like, I went out last Saturday for a little bit. It was still too cold to walk around, but I went out because the sun was shining, and I'm like, I'm just going to try for like 15
Mm-hmm.
minutes. It was still, but the birds were singing, and here in Minnesota, like, during the winter, you don't hear birds.
Hmm.
Like, you hear like maybe like a cardinal here or there, but the birds don't sing. And when the weather starts to warm up, they start singing like crazy. And I think it was like 32 degrees at the time when I was out, and there were all these birds in this one tree, and they were singing their heads off. And I'm going, I haven't heard the birds sing in 5 months
Mm.
because I haven't been able to go outside. I've been kind of living this internal life, and just standing there listening to that was like, I need to do this more often. I need to take that time to slow down, to take the moments to go outside, to stand in the water like you did at the sunset, and just connect with the universe. And it's a really cool thing to do. We don't do enough of it, I know, unless you're amazing at outside things.
Right.
Like I'm not.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I think I enjoy being inside, and I really like being inside, and
Yeah.
I think that's just because I take the outside for granted sometimes, but I know that I can go outside whenever I want to. And if I
Yeah.
was in a situation where that wasn't necessarily a possibility to go outside and experience nature and like take a walk, I think I would start to feel um some negative side effects of that. So I
I
think,
definitely feel them. I mean,
yeah.
I 100% I feel them. The winters are tough here, and there's a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety. And so, like, everybody in the office today, as I was leaving, they're like, "You're going outside this weekend, right?" We're like, "Yeah," because we've all been cooped up for so long.
Hmm.
And it's it's funny to watch what happens in Minnesota when the weather warms up. It's like you don't see people outside of their vehicles or their buildings, and then suddenly the world is populated by humans in the external part of the world. Like, the children are outside, and the people are outside, and it's like it's
Right.
just this strange phenomenon where, like, you guys in LA, in Southern California, will post things on Twitter, and I'm like, I'm so jealous that you can go to the spectrum and walk around outside without a jacket. Oh my god.
I feel
So
like I just
jealous.
wear jackets though. Like I like to wear jackets, and I wear jackets in LA when I really don't need to wear a jacket, just because I like wearing a jacket.
Right,
You
because you
know?
don't you otherwise get the opportunity. If you had to wear
Yeah.
a jacket or like a heavy coat for 6 months, and
Right.
then like I didn't have to wear one the other day going to an event for work, and I was like, I felt weird and underprepared, like
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna be exposed to the elements. It was
Yeah.
weird. It's dangerous to go outside like this. No, it's not. It's 45 degrees. You'll be fine.
It's
Like,
a perfect
but
example. It's like 80 degrees when I visited Coffee, and he shows up in an HHE jacket. I don't know. I
mhm,
like jackets. I'm not sure.
it's
I
good.
feel safer in jackets.
It's a cover up thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Chat room again. If you have questions you want us to talk about for the
Yeah.
show, but
Chime
we're
in.
cooking along here. All right. This one's
Amore, ask a
fun.
question. I know you've got a question.
She said earlier that this is something she's not the best at, so it's okay if you
Oh,
don't have
asking
one, but
questions. Oh,
you
okay.
know what we can do. Okay.
She's gonna ask what my favorite color is. I just know it.
You can ask us
I
this. I
just
mean,
know
it
it.
doesn't have to be an existential question.
That's actually a really hard question too. So I hope she doesn't ask that one. That'd be tough.
That was like the loadedest of the
Yeah.
loadedest
No, I
questions.
really don't know. Ooh, what's
Oh.
oh
Okay, Synchrony UH says, "What's your second least favorite color?" Can you go that
least
route?
favorite color? Okay, second least favorite color. Oh, I don't like. So my least favorite color, I think, is probably like a puke green. Like there's lime green and there's like a puke green. I don't
Yeah.
appreciate the puke green. So my
Mm-mm.
second um least favorite color is a color that is used to make green, which is yellow. I'm not a fan of
Mm-hmm.
yellow. I don't know why. I don't think
You're wearing the Heroes Hearth jersey with the yellow on
uh,
the front.
it's actually gold
It
technically.
is gold. That's
It's
true. So it's
gold.
different tone.
This is gold, I would say, yeah. Um yeah, I don't like yellow. I don't like yellow cars. You
Mm-mm.
know, I don't know. I don't like yellow on like a wall, like in a house or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about yellow. That's a good question though. What about you, Jules?
So it's funny because yellow is like one of the main colors of the place that I work at now. And
Oh
so like
no.
there's yellow everywhere
Oh
in the
no.
decor, the logos, everything. And I'm just like,
No.
and sometimes like, so their main like apparel, some of the main apparel is like bright yellow. And I'm like, I won't wear that because it's very yellow and I look like
Oh
shit,
yeah,
you
I
know?
look terrible in yellow. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
like
don't
I
like the
look
word yellow.
horrible. I have
Yeah.
red hair. Like it looks awful. Um so anyway, okay, my second least favorite color.
Second least. Yeah.
Um
It's a good question.
the the greenish brownish tone of like army green. Like it's close to what you were talking about, but
Yeah, it
like
is. It's
I
close, but
hate
yeah.
that color. Oh, I hate that color so much.
I actually
Um
don't like camouflage in general.
no,
I
I
don't
hate
I
camo too.
hate camouflage. I know that's like a trendy thing that people wear sometimes now, and I'm just
Yep.
like, no, I don't. I can't do it. I can't do the
Yeah,
camouflage.
Solomio said olive drab. Yeah, it's that. And
Right, right, right.
it's so soulless. I hate it. It's just like I know it serves some purposes for like utility, but I always think of it as a utility color
Yeah,
um versus an actual like decorative color or a color I'd want to wear or yeah.
right. Um,
Yeah.
there's good questions
That's
now in the chat. The first one, was, what's your theme song?
oh
Lauren wants to know your theme
gosh.
song.
My theme song. Hmm. Um I mean, I guess it's the song that I kind of like really resonate with the most, and that is the song For Good from the musical Wicked.
Mm,
Um because I love the theme
that's good.
of and I love the theme about the whole thing, and if you don't know the song,
So good.
It's talking to friends who have drifted apart on different paths, and in this, in the refrain of the song is, I can't say if I've been changed for the better, but because I knew you, I've been changed for good, which I think is one of the most brilliant
I can't say
lyrical.
if I've been
Oh,
changed for the better.
that song needs to go on Twitch Sings, by the way,
It really
um,
does. It
because
really
it
does.
is so good, and I think that's a metaphor for life, right? I think that we learn, and it talks about how people are there to teach us things, and maybe they go on their own paths, and we agree to go on our own
So
paths,
good.
and so I think I live that. So that's my theme song. How about you?
Really tough question. I'm thinking something like something. So this is gonna sound so lame. This is gonna sound so lame. I think it's a Coldplay song.
Okay, which one?
The Scientist. I
Oh, I
just
don't know the
love
lyrics to
it's
that
like a
one.
lesser known Coldplay song. But I just like it, like the pace to it
Mm-hmm.
and the guitar, and it picks up like there's like four different levels of that song picking up. Like there's like
Yeah.
it's very, and like a new instrument will come in and like totally change everything, and
Yeah.
it's talking about some guy who's just guessing and trying to figure out life, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
and the I mean the Coldplay song "Fix You." That's Coldplay sang "Fix You," right?
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good one too.
I think I was thinking that was where you were going, and
Battle
that
Panda
song is
was thinking
amazing too.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Because I love Yellow so much.
I know.
The irony would have been real.
uh,
Well, I actually love that song, right?
oh,
Absolutely
that's
love that song.
the scientist is the one that says nobody said it was this. It said it was easy. No
Yeah,
one ever said it would be this hard. I
right.
know that song, and that's a great song.
Yep. I love that song.
Nobody said it
It was
was easy.
easy. No
Yeah,
one
I know
ever
that one.
said it would be so hard. I love
Oh,
that
that's
song.
the great choice.
Yeah,
Great
and
song
that
choice.
song
I love
picks
that.
up like there's so many. I wish we could just like play it, but we can't for obvious
No.
reasons. But there's so many points in the song where it picks up with like a new instrument or a new vibe. It's so weird, but it's so repetitive too. And I think life is like that, where it's super
Yeah.
repetitive, but there's just moments of extreme exertion and like hard points. And I don't know. I love that song.
Yeah. It's so amazingly fitting, and like I think we as humans strive to find the routine, but the routine is what sometimes traps us into becoming better people.
For
And
sure.
yeah, it's pretty that's deep. I love it.
Um.
I love this show. I mean, I'm already loving this format, and
Oh
I want
yeah,
to do it more because you
that
guys
was
are giving
great.
us great stuff to work with. Okay, Amorin had another one.
Okay.
She said, if you had to change your career path right now, what would you do? It can't be anything that you've ever received money for doing already.
Damn.
Hmm.
Do I have to go first?
I can go first because
Okay,
you
you
went.
go.
You just
I
answered,
need to
so I can go
think. Yeah, I
first.
need to think.
Yeah, I'm thinking too because I think like if I were to, and actually it's kind of interesting that she asks this because um I said earlier in the show that I went to get an echocardiogram yesterday, and my sonographer was an older lady, and she was telling me about how she had gone back to school at age 48 to become a sonographer, and prior to that she
Hmm.
was an insurance agent. Um, and I was saying, all I had to do was lay there and, be poked with this
Right.
thing. And so we were talking, and I said, I think I would consider going into medicine of some sort, of work in the medical field in some capacity,
Hmm.
because I think that's something that I've always been fascinated with, and I have such an empathetic side that I know that I could probably be good at it, but it would probably break me, which is why I've never done it,
Right.
because I don't know. It would just depend on what the specialty would be. Um, but the opportunity to like make a difference in someone's life would
Yeah.
be, I mean, I can't think of a better place than medicine to have that chance. So, but I also just don't want to go back to school. So
You're right. Yeah, I don't want to do that at all.
no. So that I would say in the medical field of some sort, and I don't know what that would be, but someplace where I could
Nobody
work with patients.
said it was easy. Okay, so for me, I think it's one of two things. So some days I really think to myself, I could be a lawyer. I think I could try. I think I could do that.
Really?
And some days. Other days, I think, God, no. No way. There's no way I could do it. But like I watch, and I know that like lawyer TV shows are not the same, right? But
yeah.
just the power of like being in a courtroom, right? You've got this jury in front of you, and you're arguing for something you so freaking passionately believe in. You know what I mean? There's something so incredibly amazing about that. On the flip side, I could never live with it. I could never live with the pressure of either saving someone's life or not saving someone's life, or arguing for someone I don't trust or believe. And then I also realized that like that's lawyer on TV, right? A lawyer in real life is, you know, they're rarely in court, right? So much is like settled out of court, or you know, there's different types of lawyers, you know, practicing different law and things like that. You know, I don't have to be a trial lawyer, but anyway, that's one thing. More realistically, I think I would have been a teacher, probably.
I could see you being a teacher.
I think I would have been a teacher. I was just out yesterday. I went to a career fair, and I was trying to get these kids excited about programming and code, and I was like, God, the kids were like middle school age to high school age. And I was like, I love hanging out with these kids. I just want to like hang out with kids and, I don't know, teach them stuff that I didn't know when I was their age. And I feel like kids today are so much smarter than kids were when I was their age too. So I don't know. Yeah, I could see being a teacher or something like that. I don't know what I would teach, but it would be cool to be a teacher.
Yeah, I could totally see you being a teacher. I think as a lawyer, I think for you, knowing that how empathetic you are, like you'd probably lose your soul in that.
Yeah.
Especially because like the thing about defending someone or being a representative for someone who may not be the best human being.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
like I
couldn't
do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
But I watch these shows like, I don't know if you guys ever watched The Good Wife. So good.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I love I think her name is like Margulies. Like I love her character on the show, Alicia Florrick.
Yes.
Like she's so like she's this powerful, strong woman, beautiful, stoic. Like I don't know, she's just such a badass as a lawyer.
She is a badass. She's so good at it too. I love Juliana Margulies in ER. I loved her in that show. It was like yes.
And then there's a spin-off show now called The Good Fight, which she's not in, but it's like, you know, in the same world that CBS created for that show, and it's just more kick-ass lawyer stuff, and I don't know.
I have a slight rant about that show though, and it's not even about the show, but is this
political? It's about to get political.
No. It's not political at all. It's Christine Baranski is in that show.
Yes.
And Christine Baranski is an amazing actress. Amazing actress. She's also an older actress. Yes. And if you've seen her in things like Mamma Mia and the second Mamma Mia, you see that she is an older, beautiful woman. I saw a promo for The Good Fight that was on like the Fire Stick or whatever, the Fire TV. They had literally photoshopped Christine Baranski so badly that she...
Was this recently or not recently?
I just saw it like 3 days ago.
I will say you should look at a picture of her right now.
Did she have like amazing? Because
I think she
just
got a
watched.
lot of work done from last season to this season. Like
Did she really?
that's the first thing I said, and Emma agreed with me. The first episode of this most recent season of The Good Fight, we were like, holy shit, did she just get a lot of work done or something? Like, she looks totally different now. I don't know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
being
not saying
critical.
they didn't Photoshop her, right? I don't know. But, like, just the first freaking episode, she looks like 10 years younger than last season. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, because I was going to have a rant over the fact that they did not respect the fact that she is a beautiful older woman, and she had the skin of a 30-year-old in this promo, and I'm like, come on now. I just saw the second Mamma Mia on an airplane, and she did not look like that.
Yeah.
Like, she did not look like that at all.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah.
okay, that was such a tangent, but I had to
No, that's a
rant
good
on
tangent.
it.
That's a good tangent. It is. She's such a badass character too. Like, she might be one of my favorite parts of The Good Wife and The Good Fight. Like, she's just fantastic. Yeah. You know who's not my favorite part? This is another rant or another tangent or something. Is this girl that is, I guess she's married to Kit Harington now.
Okay. Rose Leslie.
Yeah, she's in The Good Fight, and she's not good in The Good Fight.
Oh no.
Yeah, Egret.
Yeah, she's Egret in Game of Thrones.
And she's great in Game of Thrones, right? Like, I think she's really good in Game of Thrones. She's not good in this show, and I've never seen her in anything else. So I was so disappointed. I was like, how could Egret be bad? I love her in Game of Thrones.
No.
But I think this is just a situation where, like, she was so perfect in that one role, you know? And then they tried to, like, essentially, The Good Fight, they tried to make her the star of that show. Like, it was about her, season 1. And they tried to do the same thing season 2, and then they sort of were like, it's not working. It's not working. So they, like, shifted gears. She's still in the show, but she's not, like, the main character anymore because she was not doing well. It was kind of rough. So
I kind of want to watch this now to see this, because I haven't seen it.
Season 1 is kind of a train wreck. I'm surprised there was a season 2, but they changed a lot of things about The Good Fight in season 2. One of which was making her kind of a sideline character, and the show's doing a lot better now. It's definitely way better.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to have a discussion about The Good Fight on this show, and I'm happy that we did.
I didn't know either. Yeah, I didn't know either. This is what you get when you're just asking Coffee random questions. I go off on tangents.
I think we have time for one more each question. All right, I'm going to ask you this one. What's the dumbest way you've ever been injured?
Oh. Okay, well, all right. In my defense, I had a pre-injury here. Okay, so I hurt my knee playing football in high school. So I already had so they, like, removed a lot of cartilage from my knee, and I was supposed to get surgery later on after a certain age to, like, get that repaired, so I have cartilage. I never did that because I don't want to do that. It's bearable. I'm not trying to be, like, some kind of athletic machine either, right? Maybe if I did, I'd go back and get, like, artificial cartilage added to my knee, but I'm not. So anyway, this is a long time ago. I'm playing World of Warcraft, right? And I'm in this arena, and I think I'm doing 2v2, and my healer just got trained. Like, he just got wrecked. My priest just, like, got annihilated. Like, they just, double DPS team just ran at his face and mashed their face on the keyboard, and he went down instantly. And I stood up out of my chair so fast that I, like, tweaked my knee.
No way.
My, like, already, like, somewhat damaged knee, because there's no cartilage there, and it hurt so bad that I passed out. Like, I just fell over. And yeah, and my girlfriend at the time, like, runs in, "Are you okay?" And I'm, like, passed out with my headset on, like, it looked like I died playing World of Warcraft. I was just like this.
Oh my god,
what a scary sight.
Oh my god.
Death by World of Warcraft.
Okay, that is a great story.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
so that's
amazing.
embarrassing.
I had a tank player on he was a good friend of mine. He was on my raid team, and he gave himself a concussion while he was raiding.
See? It's
Yep,
serious
it's not-
business,
it-
man. It's serious business.
He was. We were in the middle of like between pulls. He wanted to go and switch out the laundry, which was like in the next room. So he jumped up to run, tripped, and hit his head on the wall. And he left him coming back, telling us he had hit his head, but he was okay. And he rated with a concussion. Like the next day, he went to the hospital, and it was funny afterwards. It wasn't funny at the time. Yes, it was Kalani. Yes, it was.
Who was it? We're naming names.
My friend. Yes, Kalani and I used to raid together for years, and he knows.
Was it Trey?
Like,
oh Lord.
Yeah, he knows exactly who it is. Kalani and I raided together for
funny.
years, and so he knew exactly who it was when I was saying it. Okay, so here's mine, and this is a very funny story.
Okay.
I was maybe about 8 years old, maybe 8, 10. I can't remember. My dad would tell me. We would go fishing a lot as my sister and I with my dad. And when I was younger, my parents had a small boat that we would take out on it was on a trailer. We'd put it in the water, go boating, take it out of the water, and go home. So we were going on a fishing trip, and my dad had put the boat into the water. We had a friend there. My sister was there too. And I was really anxious to start fishing. And so before we even launched and he's still doing stuff, I cast my line. But what happened is that I had gotten the pole back to a point where the hook hit my head.
Oh, shit.
And I casted and I set the hook in behind my ear. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
We hadn't even left yet.
No.
And they could not get this hook out of my head.
Ugh.
And so
making me cringe so much.
I know, it was terrible.
God.
It was absolutely terrible, and it gets worse. I'm sorry, you guys. You may have to close your ears if you get squeamish at this stuff. So my dad had to take me to the hospital while my father's friend, and I had to sit with my sister, and we were there for like hours. Those poor things had to sit in the sun and just wait for us to come back. The way the doctor removed it, most of the time
you
they
can't pull it out. You gotta push it through, right?
No, he ripped it out of my head.
What kind of a doctor is he?
He didn't push it through and snip off the barb. He pulled it out of my head.
Oh God!
And because it was right behind my ear, but it was on my head. It wasn't my ear, and I guess it was surface enough that he literally just went put a Band-Aid on it.
Oh.
I know, it was horrible.
Yeah,
It was
you didn't
horrible,
go to the
horrible,
vet
horrible.
by accident, did you? This was a
No.
human doctor. It's a human doctor?
But it was the most embarrassing thing I had ever done. And my dad tells this story to anybody who listens about how I didn't even I caught myself.
Yep.
So let me tell you, anytime I
Caught
went
a big
fishing
fish.
from then on out, I was making sure I always looked backwards before I casted my line. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I'm a real catch. Yes,
you caught
Battle
yourself.
Panda.
You are. You're a
Thank
real
you.
catch, Jules. You really are.
I'm such a catch. I catch myself.
Wow.
We're going down those roads again. All right, one more, and then we'll get out of here.
All right. While I'm saying this one though, let's open it up to chat. I'm gonna ask Jules one more question, but if you guys have anything, closing questions, get those in chat right now so that we can get to those right when we're done with this. So, all right. What's the weirdest, most useless talent or skill that you have? Yeah, Hot's questions are applicable, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. They are definitely applicable. What's the weirdest?
The weirdest,
talent?
most useless. It's got to be.
Useless
well, I guess
talent.
it doesn't have to be useless, but what's the most obscure talent that you have?
That's a good question. Okay, so I don't know if you remember. Oh, you probably don't remember this game. A lot of people probably don't remember this game. there was a game that was called Rubik's Race, which if you haven't seen it, it's like think of like Battleship in terms of you have two like consoles back to back from each other. And it's a slide puzzle game is what it was. What you did was you had this little contained box of little like colored cubes like a Rubik's cube. You'd shake it and it would settle into a pattern like a Rubik's cube but was like one side, okay? The slide pattern you had to make was a race to see who could make that pattern in the box. Like, this is really fucking random.
Yes.
And
yes, you're right.
I figured out how to make those slide puzzles go to figure it out so fast that I could take on anybody and like smoke them on it. And now I haven't seen one of those things in ages, but you could probably put it in front of me and I could probably do it now. I can't do a regular Rubik's Cube because I can only do that one side. It's this like random skill that I had.
Slide puzzle queen. Man.
It was a slide puzzle thing, and I don't understand how I could do it, but I could. So,
okay.
And I don't even know if it was like my young brain and my older brain can't do it
right,
anymore.
You have to try it again now. There's only one way to get to the bottom of this.
I know, so I have to figure out. I have to find like a slide puzzle.
You have to do it live on stream next week during Jules and Coffee Hour.
God, no. No.
Got to do it live.
No.
It's got to be
live. Got to do it live. Set up the camera so you can see it all. Okay, all so right. what's your useless
Let
skill?
me preface this by saying I have no idea how I realized this or figured this out. Okay? It's weird. Okay. I can stick my ear inside of my ear.
What?
Right? I can fold up my ear so that it goes inside of my ear.
Like, I don't even know how you figured this out.
I don't know. It's pretty wild. Here, I'll do it. I'll demonstrate it on stream.
Right now? Okay, it's gonna be on stream.
Okay. So I'm gonna fold this down. And I'm just gonna stick it right. Just like that. Right?
Oh my god, he totally...
There it is.
It's like if you have a cat and you turn their ear inside out, it looks like that.
And then I'll pop it out here, right? Let me pop it out one sec.
Oh, you just did it without his hands!
You just pop it out.
He did that without his hands.
Yeah.
It literally just... Okay, I think we just saw greatness happen.
You're welcome. Still haven't found anyone else that can do that, but I hope you guys try. I hope you guys try.
Do you have like majorly malleable ears?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel.
You want me to try this right now?
It seems like a normal ear.
No,
right?
My ear doesn't bend like this. Look, it's like it's solid. His just like floppy. He has no structure in his ear.
There's enough structure to like fold it and like have it stay that way.
I can't do that. I can't. My ear is too stiff.
Ooh.
You have some bendy cartilage or something.
There's definitely cartilage in there that allows it to like fold. Like when I've like tried to show people how to do this, their ear doesn't have enough.
Your ear is double jointed. Look at this. This is insane. Like you've got double jointed. My mind is blown.
No.
they clipped it.
Well,
I love it.
things you never knew you needed to see.
Oh my god.
We got it for you right here on the Jules and Coffee Hour.
I freaking love this format, by the way. I'm having so much fun.
Same.
I want to do more of this.
Yeah, this is good.
We have to do this more often.
I think
chat room, did you guys enjoy this?
We did get a HOTS question while we were talking about that. Let me take a look here.
I missed it.
Talem says, take on Probius, skill level to play him, how effective he is in the solo lane and team fights. Do you want to start with there, and then I'll just piggyback
I've never played Probius in my life, so I have no idea.
All right, I'll give my take on Probius then. I definitely think he's viable. I think he's... Well, it depends on the extremity of like the rank you're trying to play him in. He can be super viable with a coordinated comp, and I think he can win a lot of solo lane types of situations. In a team fight, he needs someone on your team kind of like babysitting him, you know? But I think he does a lot of damage potentially in team fights, but he just requires like setup time, almost like a Gazlowe. Almost like a Gazlowe. But if he has the setup time, so especially in maps that are you're fighting on a point, like maybe Braxis or Infernal Shrines or something like that, he can be a freaking monster. He can be a freaking monster, and he's super annoying to deal with, right?
He is really annoying.
Yeah, super annoying to deal with. Yeah, so I'm all for the Proteus plays. To be honest with you, I'm all for it.
That's a great question. All right, let's see if there's one more.
Love that question. Was there anything else? There is one.
Munster's question. I don't even know how I'd answer this, but we'll see. Where would you like to see yourself in 10 years, and what do you see yourself doing?
Oh, wow.
I literally have zero answer to that because my life has changed so drastically in 3 years. All I can say is that I hope that I'm still creating content that is
10 years. Ooh.
I mean, I'm seriously hoping that Heroes Hearth is a mega thing, and we are creating content that is making people happy for years to come. I hope I'm podcasting in some form. I hope I'm touching people's lives in some way that's positive. And I hope that I can just, that's kind of where my aim is. Just like, I feel like I'm on the right path. It's just that the way that the path goes takes different forms, but the theme stays the same.
Right.
And that's what I would want it to be in 10 years.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's so hard to know in 10 years, right? Because
yeah.
we've talked about it here on the podcast where just dreams and ambitions never die. They just kind of evolve and like change into something else, so
yeah.
I definitely hope that we're all still part of this amazing community. I hope our community is growing in whatever shape or form that takes. And I hope that in 10 years, I have at least one son or daughter. I will say that. I hope that we've started a little family and we've got like a little coffee or cofflet running around that can join us on the Jules and Coffee Hour in 10 years.
Oh, that would be amazing. Gotta get started so they're 10 years old and then
yeah,
they're here.
Well, you got to practice first, right? You got to make sure everything's working. You got to make sure, all the tools are in order. Just got to practice and then maybe.
Yeah. That sounds perfect to me. And I hope that we get there. I hope that it continues to, I want to keep doing stuff like this for as long as I possibly can. And as long as people possibly want to listen to me. So that's the, don't look at Twitter. Thanks, Kalani. I won't because I don't
Appreciate
during shows. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I thank you guys so much. This was so much fun.
It was really fun.
So we can come up with stuff on our own, and we can, and it's hilarious and awesome. And then doing this kind of thing is just a blast. So thank you guys so much. I wanted to give one special announcement personally, which I didn't talk about at the top of the show, which is that I have made the decision to end Heroes News with Jules Scott, which is coming up very soon. But I have the honor of sharing a very special interview as my final episode, and it is with the one and only Lashes, the former community manager of relationships from Blizzard. I recorded that episode, the interview last night, and I cannot tell you how amazing. It was the best interview I have ever recorded. We both cried. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. It's incredibly powerful. If you're a member of the HOTS community, you're gonna want to hear this. There's so much in there that you're gonna want to hear. I don't know when I'm gonna release it next week. I don't have the exact date yet because I have to produce it. I have to edit the interview, and I need to take a day off, at least one day off this week. So
I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. I was like, Lash just posted something on Twitter about, doing her first podcast interview, and I was like, oh my God, how do I listen to this? Who do I listen to it with? And now that I know it's you, I'm getting emotional. So
it was an amazing. So she and I had been talking for months, probably a good 5 months, about doing an interview, and when she was working at Blizzard, it was prevented. She couldn't do it, but she wanted to very badly, and she kept trying because she just didn't have the media training. And she talks about this on the show, that she was going to try and get it. And after her layoff at Blizzard, shortly after, because I had messaged her and sent her my love and that I was thinking about her, and she said, I can do that interview now. And we've been working on getting it to a point where she felt comfortable talking. And I really, when she messaged me that, and I had put the show on hiatus right before, I knew that that was the way that this show would be. It would be the best send off I could give it. It would be the best way I could say goodbye, which is the most epic interview that I had ever done. So yeah, and it's very powerful. It's inspiring and sad and all of those things wrapped into one. There's so much love. If you are a member of the Heroes community, you will want to listen to this because she shouts you guys out so hard. It's like, it's pretty incredible. So yeah, so I did that last night, and I've been so busy that I didn't have time to talk about it until this afternoon. And I tweeted it, and now I'm talking about it for the first time on this show. So there you go.
Damn.
Yeah. It was an honor to be the one that got to interview her for the first time, because she's never been podcast interviewed ever.
Yep.
So it was an honor.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't wait to hear that. That's gonna be freaking amazing. Jesus.
So I think we will come back on this show on Tuesday. I think by then I can come up with something for us to talk about. So we'll come back Tuesday unless something wacky happens. Does that sound fair?
Are we doing Tuesdays instead of Mondays now? I forgot if that's the way.
I mean,
right. Mondays are. Wait.
Mondays are well, we could talk about it. We could go back to Mondays if you wanted now. So
there's no like rank win going on Mondays now.
No, there's no any rank win
going on.
Oh wait,
there's Apex that goes late potentially, right? Or are we not?
Well, no, I think we could go back to Mondays if we so chose. So we'll talk about that offline. But we're gonna do a show. Follow. Hopefully,
we're doing a show next week.
It's
again. Happening.
We will do a show next week. No
oh wait, I do want to say one more thing. So
yeah.
Next week, my first. Well, actually, no. I think it was my second moderator on Twitch that I ever had is coming to visit me in LA. I'm super excited. On Tuesday, she'll be here.
It's Midnight Society.
It's Midnight Society. We'll be here on Tuesday. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm so excited. So I'll be with her.
Maybe we aren't recording on Tuesday then.
Well. Her plane gets in at 5, so it's gonna take her. She'll get here, like if we were to record Tuesday, she would arrive here after the show, I'm sure.
Okay.
But yeah, just like this is like a perfect example of just a relationship I never would have had without Twitch, and to see her on Tuesday is gonna make me cry, and I'm really excited about that. So
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about good stuff then.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, audience, so much. Thank you for everyone who has messaged us and just told us on YouTube and everywhere that we are, that you enjoy the show, that you enjoy the two of us, that this is your favorite. Like, we've been told recently this is your favorite podcast. Like, thank you guys so much for that. It means the world, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. So
thank you for welcoming me into this podcast world, because it's just not something that I've ever done before, and it feels super special to be a part of it now with you guys. And you guys sort of welcome me into this, and it just feels very warm, very special. So thank you for that. And we're looking at all the comments on YouTube and just getting all warm and fuzzy, and we love you guys so much. Thank you.
Just hug everybody in the world right now. That's how it kind of feels. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Jules and Coffee Hour. We hope you've enjoyed this time by the fire. You get to listen to this lovely song while Coffee serenades you with his dulcet tones of where you can find everything else.
Mm-hmm. Want to contact the show? You can email us at podcast@heroeshearth.com. And if you want to connect with us on Twitter, you can find me at coffeeclub_TV. You can find Jules at JulesRPG. You can also use those handles to follow our personal streams on Twitch, so you can be notified when we go live.
You can join us for the live broadcast at twitch.tv/HeroesHearth on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, or find us in podcast form on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Pocket Casts, TuneIn, and Direct Feed.
If you like the show and would like to support the great entertainment brought to you by Heroes Hearth, please, please, please consider supporting them on Patreon at patreon.com/HeroesHearth.
Thank you all for joining us today, and until next time, we're glad you're here.